I'm OhioEA President Scott Tomorrow. Time for my weekly update. We're in back to school season. And the first thing I need to say about going back to school is we want to be in school for in-person instruction, giving our students the kind of support that they can only get in the classroom from caring, qualified, committed educators serving them. We want to be back to normal. We want a year that wasn't like last year. But in order for that to happen, everybody's got to make good decisions. And right now, with the Delta variant of COVID on the rise, with our younger students particularly vulnerable, with some communities with still low vaccination rates, we need to follow the science. We need to follow public health guidance in terms of what it's going to take in order for schools to be open safely. So I would encourage you in your local advocacy efforts to keep that in the forefront. I know that sometimes wearing masks can feel, inconvenient, and it's not certainly what any of us like to do, but it sure beats being shut down and forced into remote instruction because there is a widespread outbreak of COVID-19. So we're standing up, we're advocating for science-based decision making and educators being at the table with school boards and community members as those decisions are being made. As we prepare for a return to this new school year, it is a time to welcome thousands of potential new members into our union, into our family of educators. We see with an influx of federal American Rescue Plan dollars, with the new Fair School Funding Plan providing a boost in funding for local school districts, that there is the ability to increase staffing, reduce class sizes, provide new curricular opportunities for students, and we're seeing some great examples of that happening around the state in places like Dayton and Fairborn and Huber Heights and all over Ohio. So as we're having conversations with those people who are newly hired in our districts, this is a time to remind them of why we chose to go into education and why we chose to be members ourselves. For me, it boils down to three things. Number one, it is through the union that I find everyday support from my colleagues, those connections, those relationships with one another. In fact, our members told us in polling that we just got back over the summer that their number one source of support through COVID, through these really difficult times, has been their colleagues. That's our union. Number two, it's the protection. We know that there are attacks. We know that there are legal challenges. We know that legislators sometimes are looking for opportunities to play gotcha. And so having each other's backs has never been more critical than it is right now. And finally, it is through the power of collective action, all coming together, that we're able to get great things done for our members and students. Things like passage of the Fair School Funding Plan that's allowing for all these great innovations to be happening. Elimination of the punitive A to F report card grades and continued effort to reduce the focus on standardized testing, and elimination, hopefully, of state control in communities like Youngstown, Lorain, and East Cleveland. We have been able to work legislatively. We've been able to work together for wins at the bargaining table. Locals like Columbus Education Association have used their collective advocacy to protect their contract. A couple big arbitration wins recently, winning a grievance on student load, where the district wanted to assign more than 150 kids to a teacher. These are all things that happen when we come together. So Jeff, Mark, and I are certainly, we're going to be out there. We're going to be in locals across the state in person, wherever we can. Also, members of our member ambassadors from our ONE program, Ohio's New Educators, are also ready, willing, and able to support you and your new employee orientations and back to school activities. Anything that we can do to be supportive, but it really boils down to the connection that you make personally with those potential members and with those people who have been members to remind them why it's important to stay. So that's what I have. A special thank you to our board of directors that was together for our retreat last week. We did great work together over 3 days, working on our priorities, building community, looking at feedback from our members and how we can get better and how we can continue to engage in more ways. Look forward to seeing you hopefully on August 18th. That's going to be the next Zoom meeting for local leaders and our staff and board members and district leaders. August 18th, 5 o'clock. Look for that registration information. That's all I have for this week. Hope you make it a great week.